I'm your host, Lo, and this is Mic Drop Sun Drip, the show where we drop truth and speak light into you. This is the show for those ready to awaken to their full power, live from love, bask in golden divine light, embody abundance and divine wealth. Drop into your heart and feel it all in your body. You can watch on YouTube or listen on all podcast platforms. Here we go. Oh, and one more thing. You have a spark of the divine in you. Act accordingly.
And just like that, I'm back. Well, we are back. Lauren Lowe has been through quite a little show this year in my life. And I can honestly say it has brought me deeper wisdom to share for the highest good of all than any other cycle I've been through. First, I want to say hello, and I want to say welcome to Mic Drop Sun Drip. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. And my prayer and intention is that this moment we're going to spend together is grounding, calming, activating, always. And that you feel more love when you leave this space than when you came here. I have taken a break this year from the show, very unbeknownst to me, very shockingly, and it has not been easy the past 6 months. What's important to share as I go a little bit into my journey and what I've been navigating is we are in a 9 year in numerology worldwide collectively. And so 9 is completion, endings. And that can sometimes be things are happening in our life that we've been working towards. But a lot of times it's things are abruptly ending, cycles are ending, ways of being are ending, careers are ending, relationships are ending, things are completing because we've learned the lessons. And if we haven't learned the lessons, as we all know, the cycles and the situations and the people will come back around to teach us until we learn. I think it's important for you to understand that my intention for being alive on Earth during this time is to be the full as full of an embodiment of love and divine light and divine power as I can be, while still being a flawed human in this lifetime that is learning. Even as an old soul, I'm still learning. I'm still mastering my own very intense lessons in this life, and I'm still struggling with my own stuff, right? And I think what's really important for you to hear right now is that what you are struggling with, what you have always struggled with in this life, is what you are here to master. And mastery is not for the weary or the weak or the faint of heart. But mastery is what we are here for, my friends. You might notice we got a little slightly different setup. We got some props. I have been asked by a number of people in my audience to share more about my lifestyle, how I move through the world, the products I use, the things that bring me joy, the things that move me, that help me, and that shape me. And so I will be starting to do that on the show, including sharing more cultural things and music and movies and books and fun things, because All of those things hold codes from the divine source God for our lives and for the planet and for the earth we are trying to recreate at this time. No small feat. So, where to begin? Because this episode is all about me sharing as best I can while not revealing too personal of details what I have just lived through. And laughter is the best medicine. And so, yeah, we're going to continue to with the sense of humor around this stuff. That is not me scapegoating vulnerability. Lord knows I've been vulnerable for 20 lifetimes in my Instagram live. So, um, where to begin? I have my lucky duck here. This is my golden duck. There's a long story with this. Maybe I'll tell it on the show one day. I think I've told it in old podcast shows before, but this duck came to me in 2022 very sacredly in Duck, North Carolina. Shout out to the Outer Banks. If you know, you know. Duck, North Carolina, which is an area in the Outer Banks, is extremely sacred and quite a spiritual vortex. And one day I was with my little cousin, who's definitely a mirror of mine. He's my mini twin, I call him. And we were like searching for a duck or something. And we were like, we got to go find a duck somewhere. And then I heard golden duck. And it was one of the more potent, intuitive experiences, psychic experiences I've ever had. And I just kept seeing in my mind's eye a golden duck. And it's a very sacred symbol from ancient Egypt. Ducks are very sacred for sacred union, for physical union between two people that love each other. They're also rooted in divine love, divine safety, and just they're sacred. And the next day, me and my little cousin walk to the village where there are stores, and we walk into a beautiful store run by a woman who was so sacred and spiritual and like a fairy. And right on the table is this golden duck. And I was shooketh. um, yeah, and there's a lot more to that story, which I will not get into. However, this duck, even though I've abandoned it many times and have told myself I made these things up that this duck is connected to, it just endures on and sticks with me and holds so much energy. I like to think of it as one of my my spirit guides in rubber duck form. So he's here. His name is Destiny, named by my very gifted younger cousin, Levi. Shout out, Levi. I love you dearly. And so Destiny's here. um, I also have some books I'm going to share with you. I have some messages I'm going to share with you. I might pull cards. They're over there. I got to move this thing to pull them, so we'll see. And then I have some products I want to share as well that I really love that help me a lot. I have water. I'm drinking Dandy Blend, which is basically a formulated powder of dandelion tea. It's a concentrated, which is really good for the liver. And as a psychic who feels every ounce of energy that I interact with, 10 times more than the average human, I need lots of liver cleansing because the liver processes all frequencies, all energy, all psychic information. So here we are. There's the housekeeping. Okay. So we're off the cuff here, remember? So when you are here for an unconventional life, an unconventional path, you will struggle deeply. Let that sink in. Because I know everyone watching this, everyone that finds this show, by the grace of the divine, is living an unconventional life and is struggling deeply with it. Leaders live unconventional lives. Leaders trigger people. Leaders hold power that cannot be articulated or described. but you feel it the second they walk in. You feel it through the screen. You feel it in their voice. You feel it in their presence, in their energy, in their body, in their movements, in their creations. And ultimately, what I am here to be is a leader. And I knew that from when I was very young. I remember when I was young, one of the first psychic messages I received was, "You're destined for greatness." And I remember hearing it going, how? In this body, with these wounds, in this world? How am I destined for greatness? But I am. What does that mean? Greatness comes from within, from above, and from around us. Greatness comes when we put others, the planet, humanity, our loved ones, before our selfish, egoic tendencies to be all about ourselves. It's that simple. I have just closed out a cycle, and the rest of this year will continue closing it out, because the second I think I'm done with a certain thing, my higher self, my soul drops a tower moment on me and I gotta like go back into it. So we're staying rooted, we're staying grounded, and we're staying humble, because humility really is the key ingredient to achieving the greatness you're here for in this lifetime. And I know you're here for it. And I have been on my spiritual journey. I consider it from when I started to feel really different, and then I started to awaken and remember I'm a spirit in a body, I'm a soul in a body, temporarily here on earth, fully remembering how old I am at a soul level, and how many lives I've lived, and how many traumatic lives I've lived, how much pain I'm still alchemizing from those lives, in 2018. So I've been on this journey for, I don't know how many years that is, but it's a long time. But of course, it started when I was born, right? Just like for all of us. But the true crux of it began then. And I've received a number of messages throughout those years about my destiny and what I'm here to accomplish, what my mission is, who I'm here to do that with, the messages I'm here to impart on the world, the gifts I have. I'm a gifted speaker. That's my gift. For whatever reason, my soul, my throat is encoded with frequencies that can touch people's hearts and can make people listen. But that doesn't mean that I've always been good at that. It just means that it's my innate gift, and I have to hone it and practice it and develop it, and not fall into the trap of, my ego with that gift, right? It's a very, any gift we hold is a sacred gift from the divine and must be accordingly used in partnership with the divine, not that's my gift and everybody else just, have fun watching. So, throughout these, last number of years, I have, been shown a lot about my life. I'm incredibly psychic. I'm an oracle, I'm a medium, I can channel between the worlds. I can feel all our ancestors that aren't in form anymore, but they're present. And I'm not obviously the first person that lives with this. There's many people on earth right now that have these gifts, but they've always had these gifts. It's just at other times on earth you were killed for it. Not this time. So, they're not going to get us. So, what I have done while having these very profound experiences that cannot be understood by the logical mind spiritually, feeling the divine source God, hearing the voice of God, having visions, having vivid dreams, having vivid visions that then happen in the 3D world. I've struggled a little bit with that. Are we surprised? No. And what I've also done is thought I was crazy, denied what I was getting, denied what the messages were. wanting more proof. The ego wants constant proof of everything, right? Show me a signier sign, right? So I also struggled with the mission that I was shown I'm here for and coded for and will accomplish because my soul does not care about my ego and will push me to my utter extreme and cannot believe that I was chosen for that. I'm not that special. Like, why would the divine choose me for that kind of huge mission? It's big. It's underway right now, but the crux of it is still unfolding, the big moments. And guess who got in the way of all that? Me. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. And so, as I've received a lot of this information before it happens in the physical world, some of it has happened and some of it has not, right? I have struggled, which people do. This is why people with these gifts often struggle with how to hone them, how to use them, how to lean into them, because they are a superpower. But your existence walking through the world is very different from the majority of people, right? The majority of people do not have these gifts. These gifts are earned over lifetimes and chosen by the soul to have in a certain lifetime because the psychic gifts contribute to the mission. They're not just like a fun thing to deal with and have. It's part of what you're here to do. And that's very much me. Now, everybody has intuition, everybody has a gut instinct. Some of us, the volume's turned all the way up. That's how I want you to think about it. And some of us, it's tuned to a certain way that the soul wanted it for that lifetime because it might not be required, right? So, those of us with these gifts, and I know a lot of you are listening and watching, we struggle, don't we, on earth? And I have struggled deeply. I have struggled too with my sensitivity, my ability to have so much compassion and empathy, to feel the pain of the world, to feel the pain of others, and my own pain. So it's almost, for a long time, it's always felt like it drowns me. And so I do different things and have done different things to suppress that because it's overwhelming, right? And that's an ongoing journey of how to really work with the energy that I hold, just like all of us are figuring that out for ourselves. So this year I was hit with a choice point in my destiny and my mission. So, remember everything you're ever shown or have a feeling about or get an intuitive message about has a purpose and it's never wasted. The divine doesn't waste no time on nothing, right? We waste time, the divine does not. And so sometimes things are not fully clear or it's like my guides always say to me more will be revealed. I'll see something and I'll know intuitively that's important and then I'll hear more will be revealed. So and that more will be revealed might be 6 months from now, might be 6 minutes from now, it might be 2 years from now. And that's the hardest part is time because we are in a dimension that has physical time, right? So even though we know we can bend time and time is very malleable and we're seeing that more and more in will on earth, it's still a dimension of time. And so, when you're tapping in and working with the higher realms, they don't exist in time. When you're manifesting from another plane, you have to be real patient. When you're psychic and seeing things in your life that are going to happen that haven't happened yet, you got to be mature, grounded, and patient as fuck and have faith. So, this journey for me is ultimately about faith. It's ultimately about my connection to the divine source God. I literally have a telephone line to the divine. I can hear the divine. I can hear the creator of us all. And a lot of people can. But a lot of people deny it, struggle with it, don't like it, aren't sure, right? So I need to be public about this. This is not something for me to just have for myself because the divine works through me to speak to you messages that I could never come up with. We've seen it many times, right? In my show, my Instagram lives, the things, some of the things I say are me, right? They're my human, my triggers, my wounds, but there are things I have said that are not me, right? So my vessel is, I have to surrender my vessel to the divine to help others. That's my mission. And the way that comes through for me is through my throat. That's what I have to do. It's all through my voice. Some people it's painting, some people it's music, some people it's dancing, some people it's business, some people it's writing. And we will do a number of those things too, but it's clear to me and it's very simple and I have been fighting it. That's the truth. Because I have felt very alone in it because I have been alone. I've lost so many people. I've lost nearly everything in many ways. I've had so many ego deaths, so many dark nights of the soul. I've lost identities. I've been left behind. I've just felt it all. I've lived such potent experiences and I'm very young still in human years. So it hasn't been easy, and I've had to have grace with myself and be like, damn, you have been through a lot. Like you gotta have some grace and compassion for yourself. Um, and I'm really grateful that I'm strong enough and I have people around me that have helped support me during times when without that, I would have lost it. Right. So this summer was a big completing cycle that resulted in me feeling just lifeless, zombie. It felt like the life force energy was gone and my spirit was broken, which we know is real and it's part of the path. It's part of the ascension path, it's part of the spiritual path, and it's part of the path when you have a mission that's meant to touch a lot of people. You got to know how those people struggle. You got to go to zero in your bank account. You got to be left behind by friends and partners and lovers. You got to feel different from your family. You got to struggle in your body. Like you have to feel and go through very human experiences. What's going to make anybody listen to me when my intention and mission is to help people remember they're a soul and a body and to help people remember their power? But if they don't know, if I don't share that I've lived what they've lived, because I really have, who's going to, how will the impact be made? You see? So, um, I have a lot of issues with the spiritual space, the spiritual communities, the manifestation teachers, the law of attraction teachers. I have a lot of issues with the messages that are getting out there and that have been gaining a lot of viral traction over many years because the issue is, and again, there's truth in all of this, right? There's truth in all of it. Law of attraction is 100% real. Manifesting, absolutely. We're manifesting every minute of every day, whether we like it or not. It depends on what we are doing. And then what manifests is based, of course, on our energy and what we're open to and what we're ready for, right? But what those teachings leave out of the equation is the great mystery. Let that sink in. The great mystery. Native Americans called the divine source God the great mystery. You know why? Because the divine is a mystery. On this earth, on this plane, we don't know everything, and we contract to do so. Let that sink in. I'll wait, because I've had to let it sink in. It leaves out that none of this is random, that many of the things we experience are predestined, pre planned, pre chosen by your soul in that body you're in. And that, yes, you have a destiny, and the journey to that destiny, however long it takes, is dependent on the choices you make, and very simply, if you are willing to choose it. Free will is not against destiny. Free will is the medium, the channel for which we choose our destiny. Got it? So when people say to you, whatever you are not changing, you are choosing, they are leaving out a very important little detail, which is potentially what you're choosing is part of your destiny. And you could be choosing and making choices that are not good, but it's part of your lessons, it's part of your mastery, and it's part of your destiny to do so, to move through those lived experiences so you can teach. So, no, whatever you are not changing is not what you're choosing. Whatever is happening in your life right now, I promise you this, the divine is behind it, good, bad, or indifferent. Whatever you struggle with, it has a purpose. Whatever you are navigating right now is part of your destiny. It's not a matter of you're not doing the right things to manifest the reality you want. I'm sorry, but it's not. Controversial, right? I disagree with a lot of people that I know, colleagues, people in the space. They're wrong. They're missing a big part. I could right now psychotically practice to be a professional NBA player, and I will never be. You think LeBron James is just an NBA player because he practices? Wrong. Wrong. I got to use this example because everybody perks up. LeBron James was destined for that. His human, guided by his soul, urges him to practice throughout life. And he did. His free will choice met his destiny, and boom. Happy go lucky. But if he resisted those gifts, those innate gifts he was born with, he would not be doing what he's doing. Do we understand? So we are all gifted. We are all innately born when we incarnate with gifts our soul chose to have, our soul earned in past lives, and that our soul promised to use for the betterment of the whole, not just the betterment of itself. Of course, our soul is here to grow individually, but our soul is here to grow and impart its gifts for the betterment of its fellow souls, because our soul knows we're all one. Our human doesn't. Got it? That was so well articulated. See, I'm channeling. I'm channeling. I could never articulate that well. So in March, back to what I was saying before, I was given a choice point to choose this mission that I've been shown what it is, again, shown many things over. It takes time to make peace with something, right? It takes time to accept our mission. And it's been revealed to me in very divinely guided increments. The divine is so clever, the way the divine reveals things to us, or the way we feel things, or the way things start or end, or whatever. And so it was revealed to me in a very specific way. And then, earlier this year in March in particular, over the eclipse portal, which of course is no coincidence, I was given a choice point. Do you want this? We've shown you everything. We've shown, again, I don't know every single thing for the rest of my life. I don't know when this is going to happen on what day. I know the big strokes, right? I know the arc of it all. And all of a sudden it was, would you like to choose this? That's the free will. And I'm blessed and lucky enough that I can intuitively feel that's the message I was getting. Because some people, don't always know that, or they can't feel that, or they're not sure, or they're struggling. And so that's why we have to teach people how to be in touch with their intuition, however big or small their intuition is meant to play a role in their life, right? But intuition is, of course, behind everything we're doing. I just happen to have gifts that are amplified. So this choice point happened and I chose it. I said, I'm going to choose it. And by the way, the path, my highest destiny, I like to call it highest divine destiny, because there's different things that could happen if we don't choose it. Like, of course, we might be guided back to it later. We might resist it and have a different life. And then our life blows up middle aged and then we return to the original mission. There's all kinds of things that can happen. But ultimately, I was shown that this is the highest divine mission for Earth. It's the mission my soul wants me to choose. I was shown that it's hard. It's the hardest path, like truly the hardest path, and hard in different ways. Not just like it's not suffering, it's not like, oh, you're gonna have to, suffer now for the rest of your life. It's just, it'll be hard. And then there's also an easy path. And my soul, the divine, gave me that choice, and I could have picked the other path, which I also was shown what's on that path. And I just had this profound experience, and I can't describe it other than tell you. I was sitting there, it was, early in the morning, and I had this profound experience of remembering who I am. And I pray everyone has an experience that makes them remember who they are. Because who I am is first and foremost a very intensely loving, deep being that cannot do surface level. The second part is I am a warrior. I am definitely a fighter with unbelievable willpower, unbelievable perseverance and determination that I simply cannot give up, even though I wanted to, believe me. And I just remembered, and there were many other things that unfolded in that moment, and I chose it. I said, I can't do any other path. This is who I am. This is what I'm here for, come what may. And my life blew up. My entire life blew up, physically, financially, emotionally. And then it triggered a dark night of the soul. It triggered a number of painful, painful, painful things coming to the surface, depression. I have truly reached the pit of darkness. I have reached the pit of darkness where it's not so much that nothing will ever scare me again, but a certain, once you touch the darkness, the true darkness that is part of our soul's journey on Earth, on a planet that holds duality, dark and light, once you really hit that pit of darkness, you can only go up back to the light. And this time around, because I've been through dark nights, I've been through ego deaths, I've done it before, but this was different. It was a, it was a, it was painful to the point where I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't. Right. And while I would never fully go through with that, part of a dark night, part of an existential crisis, part of an ego death, part of grief, right? Which is what a lot of us are navigating ultimately, grief and loss and sadness and despair. You don't want to be here. Why would you? Who would want to live with those energies and frequencies? Who wants to feel like that? Nobody, right? That has a purpose, but it's not meant to stay forever. And the divine in my life just reminded me this. I knew this and forgot because we do, because our human is just what it is. And so the divine pulled me out of that once again, and the divine saved me once again. And the divine, once again, reminded me of my mission. Only in the last few weeks, I was shown all of it again in a profound way that I cannot describe, but the miracles are overwhelming. And the divine said, do you still choose it? And I said, yes. So that's where we're at. We are back in action, but more grounded, more calm, hopefully more wisdom, and humble, because I have been humbled deeply. I hope that me sharing the depths of my story helps you. Know that you're not alone. Know that those intrusive thoughts you have are not you, but it is a part of this path. And I hope that you take from this that you are destined for greatness and that you must never give up, ever. So the duck is like, good job. I want to share a few things. So, as somebody who's very sensitive in the world, psychic, right, all the things, I need a lot of different elixirs and tools and physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, all that. This is one brand that I really love. I think she's actually local to San Diego, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody I discovered when I was living there, and it's from a brand called Quintessentials. And this is one of her many sprays for the body, and it's a clearing, charged purification water. It's great for clearing your energy field and just you just feel great after. The smells are beautiful. It's very, very natural. This one's called In the Clouds. and it's just a nice clearing spray. I do it before this show. I do it, I use it all the time. And she has many. She has actually a smudging spray. She has a really amazing one called In the Woods, and it's very grounding. It smells like the forest. It's amazing. Um, I also obviously love essential oils, and I love doTERRA, the brand, the creme de la creme of essential oils. And this one is Purity, and it's a cleansing blend. And I just often will like put a little, I use it obviously when I'm doing energy work or whatever, channeling, but I just love the smell. It's very cleansing, and I put it like on my heart, I put it on my third eye, my chakras, I pray, I breathe it in. It's really, really beautiful. And everything is about purifying ourselves. Everything comes back to like, okay, how do I not carry the experiences of yesterday with me today? So I'm all about the purifying and the cleansing as much as I can. And it's a daily practice, and one that I wasn't always great at. I was lazy or I'd forget. And then no wonder I felt terrible for, a week. It's like all that works. Like all the little energy things we do, it works. You feel different, right? Another brand that I love is Aura Soma. Can you see that? Yeah, Aura Soma. I'll have to link these. Now I'm going to be somebody that links products in the show notes. None of these are sponsored, by the way. But hey, we welcome conscious sponsors eventually, but you better be conscious. Um, but Aura Soma is basically this like aura cleansing. It's not an oil. It's like water basically, but it's infused with all these different frequencies and scents, and it has a very distinct scent. But it literally feels like water in your hands. It's pretty incredible. All the different colors represent different chakras. So this one is clear. So this is for like all the chakras, clearing, whatever. But then this one is for the heart and the throat, this green one. And that's what I'm always trying to do is connect my heart to my throat, so I speak from the heart versus speak from my ego, and which I've done in past videos. And then this one's like for the physical body, root and sacral, self-love, all that. So I love those kinds of products are my jam. Like it's like kryptonite for me, and they work and I need them. So I pay a lot of attention to like my aura. I pay a lot of attention to my energy field, and just like, what can I do to have a physical, tangible thing that helps me make what I'm doing energetically and spiritually physical. That's why these products are useful, because we're in a physical body, we're on earth, we need physical things to feel grounded. Otherwise we're just flying, up there. And so that's what that does for me. Not that it's essential, but it makes it so much more grounded when I'm doing different cleansing or activating work on myself. Um, these books. So I have this book I've had for a long time. It was gifted to me, and it's a great book. And I'm constantly brought back to this concept of it's not your money. It's a beautiful book by Tasha Silver, and How to Live Fully from Divine Abundance. This book actually is a process she channeled and takes you through about how to fully anchor to abundance mindset, but also clear financial stresses and pain. And it's pretty remarkable the miracles. She channeled these beautiful divine abundance prayers that you say every day. And it's profound. And I say the prayers almost every day. And I remember the year I read it, which was a while ago now, 2022. I made so much money that year. So it's powerful. And the prayers ground you back into you're always going to be provided for. The divine has got you. The divine has got you, right? You're going to be provided for. And the second we think that we're not, or we don't have enough, or we're in scarcity, right? We're completely knocked down. So it's important to re-emphasize this. And this is one of those sacred tools, and particularly the words she channeled. Whoa, my ear just rang so loud. Thank you. I'm telling everyone about it. Is powerful. Like the change me prayer. It's what is it called? I'm just gonna open it. The full abundance change me prayer. This prayer is just epic. So highly recommend that book. A book that I've had on my shelf that I haven't started reading yet, to be honest, but I'm focused on now is Ryan Holiday, Discipline is Destiny. So I suck at discipline. Whoops. And so I'm trying the power of self-control. Yeah. So I'm going to start reading this and I'm excited because I've always had a weird relationship with discipline. I like the word devotion more. And I'm always like, I want to flow, and I think a lot of women do, but I think a lot of people do. They don't want to always just be so like, what kind of life is that? But there's a balance. And I think for me, the next level of what I'm here to bring through, it is going to require a healthy discipline, divine masculine energy, essentially. So I'm excited to read that book. And I just love his vibe. He's a good dude. And then this is one of my all-time favorite books that is a book that you can flip to every day. Danielle Laporte's somebody who influenced me so much when I was young. I always loved her and her desire map concept. And this book is one of her latest. It's called How to Be Loving. And she wrote it, I think, after COVID. And it's just all about like the world is waking up, your heart's breaking, how to be loving through it all. So that's a really powerful book and one that, you can flip to a page and it'll always have a great message for you. I want to leave you with, it's my guy. I want to leave you with a message from an oracle deck called the Lightworker Oracle. This is a beautiful, beautiful, very important deck, one that I work with a lot. This was the message, ironically, for me in November, for the month of November, and I feel that it's a message for you. So I pulled two cards. This is weeks ago, but I've kept them and I read them every day because I'm like these. I gotta hammer these home. So the first card I actually pulled was 1111. This card is all about when the universe does speak to us in numbers, and I'm recording this on 1110. Tomorrow's 1111, so we shall see what the miracles that are available to us are. But the second card I pulled that I'd never pulled before was called Fierce Presence. I'd never heard that phrase before, and it really hit me. And it's all about like being like what it really means to be like fiercely in the present moment. And I'm going to read to you a message from it that just shook me. Stillness of mind and inner peace are only possible when you are willing to engage in fierce presence. This is the personal permission to always see the truth of a situation. This is where you will find what you are seeking. So let the past be done. Allow the future to take care of itself. Self doubt can make it hard to see the truth, but self love empowers us to accept what is and believe that we can move through any challenge and accept any blessing with humility, confidence, and willingness. You are here now, where you belong, at exactly the right time, in exactly the right place. All things serve your greater good. Nothing is wrong. You are doing well. All is in process. And in this moment, there is only the peace of knowing that your soul is capable of growing. Relax, trust, be nourished. If you have been worrying about the past or the future, this oracle comes with guidance to let it be. All is working out just as it is meant to, even the things that you don't quite understand or find hard to accept. In time, you will know the perfection of all that is happening in your life. You'll feel lucky, blessed, grateful, and truly, truly loved. For now, however, it is enough to just be here and breathe. That shook me to my core. I felt that in my bones. That has been the answer all along for me. So here's to fierce presence. Here's to reclaiming and choosing our highest divine destiny and our mission in this lifetime. And here's to the new earth. Love you all. Thanks for being here. And I can't wait to get your messages and your comments. And the show is back, baby. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Mic Drop Sundrip. Join the community at houseoflow.co/Mic Drop Sundrip. And remember, without truth, there can be no light. And without light, there can be no power.